Turn 71, we can celebrate by getting some opinion with families, but changing our succession law, which we don't want to do. So we'll end up taking the charisma there. We can pick up Highlander on our heir, seems good. Pick up sovereignty as well, and we can upgrade this ruler, Vorjaspana, with equestrians, as she's producing units, and then we'll give wisdom on our ambassador. So let's resolve those events in that manner. And then here we will start a Cataphract Archer and rush it. It is 31 orders, but we have 50, so I think we can squeeze this in. So yeah, we'll do that. Probably not going to rush too many more, but that will get us up to, we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that'll give me 8, and that'll be 9, there's 7 and 8 right there, and then we'll just need to upgrade a couple, and then we should be good to go, potentially attacking Assyria as early as turn 75. So we will see. Definitely feel like Mojo is suspecting something at this point, because he's like, this is your last chance to move troops west or something. I've been in Diplo with Frederik, Nolegs, and in conversations with Fluffy, like Mojo is clearly running away with game at this point. He's also at 6 laws now, so that implies the 7th law is coming soon. So yeah, he has slavery, centralization, serfdom, monotheism, legal code, which means since he has centralization, he can pick up epics in a 7th law at any time. So our window is still open because his unique unit is not that great. But yeah, it is. He's going to have 8 strength units soon. We're going to start a range over here. We'll 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 start a range over here. Lots of ranges. We will start a hamlet over here. We're 2 years away from the next culture level. So I'm going to start a Colossus with this one, and then I'll go ahead and build the Academy, or potentially the Ministry. We'll figure out which one. But yeah, we'll start with the Colossus there. We'll start an Apprentice Scribe here. Over here we will start a Rax. I think we can potentially get this city to be another military production city, especially since it's got such great civics production. So it should be able to build. And then we will start a monk here. Then our remaining orders will be selling some stuff to tutor our daughter again. And then our last order will be to upgrade this to a Palton, buying some food again. And then here we will start a forum, because we don't have a forum 1 there. And then we can buy some food and start a scribe here, start some walls here. And then take some notes to tutor, pick up Constitution next turn, and figure out how we want to place stuff in this city here. So plan right now is get up to 8-9 Cataphract Archers and go to Assyria with a force march. Get everything in position and then go. Hopefully by the time that turn rolls around, we'll have the new feature that's in a patch that will let me see how far Mojo's vision range is, so I can try to position troops just outside that range. Of course, if he has agents in my cities, that does not help. So yeah. So sovereignty, though, Constitution is going to be big spike in terms of science, considering how many specialists we have. Just to check, we've got 2 monks and 8 elder monks. That's 10, and then like we have 20. So that's 20 raw science, even before modifiers. And we should start seeing some modifiers as well. We'll finish this library here so we can immediately start the academy here. So yeah, looking pretty good right now. Fluffy from Diplo does not sound like he's going to attack me while Mojo is point leader. So, because it doesn't make any sense for him to weaken me, because he's like, right now Mojo is, if we leave Mojo alone, he is just going to win the game by himself. So, yeah. So we should not leave Mojo alone. All right, I think that concludes my turn. And yeah, we are going to go to war here soon. All right, just the moment. Yeah, I would love to get slightly better vision, but don't really have a way of doing that right now. There's really no forests that I could hide in here. Maybe here. Somehow get over here with a force march, maybe. Yeah, think about it next turn. Maybe over here or something. Yeah, I don't really need to be up here, so potentially consider move scouts. There is Mojo, but realistically, portcullis is going to be the key to doing that, and we don't have time for that right now. So start the second range, likely here, I think. Range orto, and yeah, I think I'll prioritize the academy and Parsa, and range Parsa. 72. We'll have 2 workers, so we should be able to do that. Academy and range. That's great. Acropolis. And then we'll be 2 turns away from Colossus. So we'll try to start Colossus on turn 73. Still need to get to 800. Iron might be close, but we will see here. All right. Exciting times. Game definitely picking up. So we're going to see how this goes here. Exploration is definitely making it possible for me to move up here pretty much in 1 turn. So yeah, we're going to pull some forces north. This should hold. Not sure what this AI thing is. I presume it's just hiding. I hope it's not going to attack my poor worker. I'm very surprised for Egypt to do that, considering they're much weaker. It's an AI, so it's pretty rational here. Yeah, Mojo may actually, that city might be under threat for him. So I think I am going to, so I have a couple choices. I can go here. This is just such a horrible layout, though. Like, it's going to be really hard to take the city. Just really hard. So, but, I don't know. We can think about it. I do also worry that I do not have any melee horse right now, and it's going to be really hard to kill his rams because they get a bonus against ranged units, which is pretty much all I have. But we should be able to eventually take out this city. We'll need to move the Palton to upgrade, and upgrade as well. So exciting times. I'm going to send this one back and see how people react. Turn 72. We have this event, which really sucks because we're terrifying thanks to Bloodthirsty, which means we can't get educated in air. Instead, we get bitter, which is very sad. We'll go Schemer on Dutch's Zand. Pick up Constitution, which will boost our science quite a bit. And then we'll pick up Holy War as an ambition. And then tech-wise, we will go for Spoked Wheel. All right, resolving those events. Notice we're up to 162 science now. Here we will start a range and then pull that unit and clear that out. Fortunately, the Zealot General is gone because Egypt has now been defeated by Rome. We're down to 5 players in this FFA. We will go ahead and move our Ankian disciple over here to start a monastery over here for double monk potentially. And we'll start a stronghold for additional orders. Here we'll chop and heal. We'll start a range there next turn. We will move over here to start an academy. 13 science a turn. Okay, that's going to be great. And then here we will chop and then start a range there as we planned. And then over here we will start a hamlet. And here we'll chop and then start mine. We'll put a cataphract archer here and then go ahead and rush it with civics because we cannot rush for orders at this point. Just poking into the city, it's going to be 34 orders and that's just too expensive at this point. So it's time to start rushing with civics instead, which we should be able to support thanks to our incredible civics income at the moment. Then we will go here and start, what was this move here? We pull the Palton Cav down here and upgrade it. And then pull another Palton Cav, pull the other Palton Cav over there, and likewise upgrade it. And then we'll start another Palton Cav there, which we'll pull back and forth to upgrade. Start a treasury here because can't afford the food. Start a festival here and start a forum here because we don't have forum 1 at the moment still. There, and it's a free half order, so might as well. Then I think I'm just selling down a tiny bit of stone We'll do some scout moves, pull this scout south, and then pull this here. I would like to get this scout. I would like to get this scout here, over here, so I can see what's going on with this capital city. We are also now stronger. Everyone is weaker than us, except everyone is weaker than us. So that is also a situation. So I don't know whether I want to attack Mojo immediately. He seems to be having issues with rebels. I want to get a little bit more intel, but I definitely want the option of doing so if I want to. We're also intentionally starting these hamlets here to delay Colossus. We do not have the iron, and we're using our iron for cataphracts archers, and we may or may not do another cataphract archer, or we could get the philosophy dude up in the library, potentially. So we will see here. Yeah, and this is going to finish here in a second, so yeah, not entirely sure what we're going to do there. Rome has finished conquering Egypt, which means Rome can now turn their sights to attacking me or Mojo. Frederik is also anticipating he's going to counterattack Mojo in the north. Mojo is 21 points away from victory. I am a little further away. The mausoleum is still on the table. It is 40% culture in all cities. I don't quite know what my win condition is. Am I in a position where I can fight world war and defeat everyone? Probably not. Specifically, like, let's game this out a little bit. If I attack Mojo and he falls apart, then Frederik and Fluffy potentially could ally against me, and then I have a two-front war, and I will be stronger than them, so it makes sense for them to ally against me. Whereas if I continue to have peace with Mojo, or at least truce, then it is in my interest to let him take the brunt of attacks from Frederik and Fluffy, or bide my time and attack when. The issue is I can't bide my time that long. He has more cities than me, by far. He has 18 cities to my 9, which means eventually he will outpace me. Also, just as Persia, I can build Palton calves, and I have cataphract archers. He doesn't have his 7 law UU. He will get citadels up. So a decapitation of taking Assur is a possibility. The risk of that is that may cause him to surrender, and then the AI takes over, and then I have an angry AI on my borders, and Frederik and Fluffy will attack and take out pieces of Mojo, and I may capture a couple key cities, definitely jewels, but I'm going to have a really hard time fighting on both fronts, and there's a lot of Mojo cities for Frederik to take. So I will continue to think about what I want to do. Yeah, because Mojo's on 18 cities, which is a huge threat. He's also not threatening me and has been a good neighbor all game. Fluffy has a hero ruler, which is terrifying, but it's on 2 laws and is primitive, and like I'm pretty sure even with a hero ruler, my army can probably deal with him at the moment. The issue is, of course, I can't deal with everyone all at once. My 9 cataphract archers will be able to take a city on their own at will, but only in one place at a time. So, yeah. I mean, I think the choice is attack Mojo or sit tight, and I'm not sure which of these I want to do. Obviously, I can keep building up troops, building up eco. There's no rush for me to do so. Mojo did suggest that I send a truce next turn, or this turn. I, of course, did not have orders to do so, so I won't do that. But we'll see how he reacts to that. Yeah, we will see how this goes. So, okay, I'm going to end this turn and send it back. Turn 73. We can have interfaith dialogue, or since our opinion's pretty good with both religions, we can just take the civics, which are very handy, especially since I'm going to rush out another Palton cav, sorry, a cataphract archer out of the cap, We're going to put this scout here. We'll eventually poke here, break this fog before we move forces. There's a new patch now. You can hold down this button here, down here, to see if you click on the unit or the nation, what he can see. So Mojo has hilariously just missed visibility of my unique unit. So I'm going to position forces here where he can't see them, in the pass towards Assyria. So we're going to move everything. It's going to take a bunch of orders, and we're probably going to need to force move next turn. And then we're also going to upgrade all those free promos. Use up a lot of orders doing that as well. So just moves basically into position there. That's all of them. Our 9 cataphract archers. Then we're going to rush a cataphract archer here. It costs quite a lot of civics, but we've got civics in the back in the bank, 570. So we should be able to rush something next turn as well, if desired. Don't know if we actually will. We might also start. I think I'd probably want these ranges up and running, so we'll see. We will have, yeah, we might just keep rushing until we get the ranges done. So 2 more turns or so, 1 more turn, and then we'll just start an apprentice officer and do another one, and then eventually get the academy up and running. Start an apprentice officer here. We'll assign some governors as well, because we should have enough civics to rush next turn. That'll be the last turn we rush. So yeah, we assign some decent governors here. Take the free promos, take some more free promos, and that's pretty much it. And the other cool thing with this patch is you can now assign building improvements, although they don't seem to register. Oh no, they do. It's just I did a lot of them, so you can see now it's like being very slow. But you can see, okay, really wants me to open the city. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm marking all the things I want to do, basically removing my little notes and putting these cool new map notes, planning out my cities. I love this feature. It's so amazing in terms of just visibility into what you want to do. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, we put a lot of notes on the board. I guess the redo is kind of slow for them, but yeah. Yeah, we get 22 map notes this turn, so apparently it's just very slow on the redo there. All right, well, if it'll ever let me. Okay, yep, that's cool. I don't know why. Okay, cool. And I think I opted to start a master officer here, as opposed to a Palton Cav. The rationale is I'm getting Spoked Wheel next turn, so I actually want to get. I have 9 cataphract archers. That's a lot. I'm probably not going to need more than 9, especially if I can keep them safe right now. I'm going to have 10 and potentially 11 next turn. I want to get towards barding as quickly as I can, which means I'm going to want to produce chariots. Capital will probably potentially keep building specialists, or just get the 2 ranges up and running, and then go the 2 officers and the ranges up and running, and then which will probably take like 2 turns, and then go to town, getting more cataphract archers out potentially, because why not? It doesn't take that long to build it. I think it's down to 5 years, yeah. But we'll be probably down to 4 once we have those 2 archers, the 2 apprentice officers out. So the rationale is I want to have chariots so that I can upgrade things into cataphracts. So that way when I hit cataphracts, I will have a bunch of chariots that I can upgrade. Yeah, it's more expensive, but it will just save me a lot of production time, and I'm fine on training. We'll have a big training bank, some which I may burn on force marches next turn here, but we will see. So excited about next turn. It's definitely going to be a doozy. So be a little bad since Mojo and I have kind of been in a detente all game, but it just does not feel right to keep national alliancing, or like to keep to national alliance and just that ends the game essentially. If we national alliance, no one can contest our might, and that's not a very interesting game. So I think. Also, he proposed, he wanted to like, he'll take the north, I take the south. South just has 2 Egyptian cities or 3 Egyptian cities or something. And there's a lake I can't reach Rome over. And then I'm kind of boxed in. I have to like build a boat and attack Rome. Meanwhile, he's going to eat all of Babylon and then move to Greece. Like, he's also on double my cities. So I don't know that I can agree to that split. I think I need to chop some of Mojo's core for myself. Ideally Assur, which is a great military production city here. especially with that base, or I think there was an ore somewhere in there. Should be, right? Take the seat of Christianity as well, which will be a problem because the religion hates my guts. But yeah, you know, only 52 more years of purging. Maybe I'll get some cool events to get rid of them. I don't know. That may have been a mistake, but who knows? And yeah, but that'll give me some victory points from that. And then I expect I'm going to have a big target on my back as soon as I do that. So Rome may come in here with a hero unit. I don't know. I don't expect Rome to attack me while Mojo is in the lead. But let's see. 3 points there. So, you know, he's going to lose cities very quickly. So Rome can turn very quickly against me. So I still think this is the right thing to do. And I may have these cataphracts go to the western front to defend against a Roman attack. It will actually be very hard for him to break through here, assuming I can hold. So, yeah, I think the 9 catas I have up there is going to be enough to deal with the north, but then I'm going to need to deal with west and Rome, but it's pretty defensible. I'd like to take the city as well. May take the city, may not. And yeah, we can think about it. Yeah, so Rome will be a problem. But Rome is also primitive. He's way behind in tech. And we're on equal number of cities, or he's only on 7 cities to my 8 to my 9. So I don't anticipate I'm going to have that much trouble holding Rome off, especially if I just put a couple cataphract archers here. And what's he going to do? How is he going to get through that? Like 2 cataphract archers here. Good luck. They're just going to have a really hard time attacking through that. So not too worried about that front. He will have a hero, but like even there's just the terrain is terrible. He'd have to get boats, and I'm ahead of him in tech, so my boats will be better than his boats once I keep ticking up. So I think this makes for a better, interesting game. Mojo, if you're watching this, sorry, you've been a decent neighbor, but I feel like you've just gotten too large. And if I sit back and like go attack Rome, all the things I said about the choke points are true for Rome defending as well. You will just eventually surpass me. Like I will not be able to keep up with your eco on that many cities. So that the window is now, I think I talked about on turn 30 or something, like the window for attacking Assyria is when I have my 8 strength UU, and he does not, because Assyria's unique unit is not that strong. And you don't have any 8 strength units, and I will, and that should provide a decisive edge in the battle ahead. We'll find out. I don't have anything I can do with these last 4 orders, as far as I can tell. I don't really want to rally troops for 200 training, because I'd rather have the civics for 100 civics. Probably going to rush out that one last kata next turn. And yeah, you can do the new improvement thing here. This is just the old one. Yeah, rush out kata. I think I already made that note, but can't hurt to make it again. Okay, we are going to see what happens here in the next game. Or the next turn. Super excited. Glad to get some of these hamlets online as well to fix this cash situation, because it ain't great. And that's the other thing I thought about. Should we take freedom? What does that do to our cash situation? That instantly fixes our cash situation. It will prevent us, though, from rushing next turn, so we don't want to do that. We may consider freedom in like 2 turns. 75 should be good for freedom. Okay. Cool, that is it. Yeah, we'll rush 1 more kata next turn, and then we'll switch to producing properly the apprentice officer on turn. Oops, I'm such muscle memory there. App officer on turn 75. Arsa, and then we'll do another one the turn after, turn 76, and then Parsa will be up and running and be able to produce cataphract archers, which should be able to hold the west. And yeah. But this should be very powerful. Hopefully Mojo will keep fighting and not just rage quit, but we will see. No Legs should be able to push him back a little bit from what I can tell. Mojo, from intel I have from No Legs, has like a maceman and 2 or 3 axes and some chariots and a ram. So that's a lot of forces up there. I don't see anything nearby. This chariot and an axe here and a slinger, which like whatever, if he wants to come kill this worker, I can make him pay for that. This cat archer is probably going to go west, honestly. Yeah, so I think these 9 should be enough to deal with anything he sends up there. Like, again, he's weaker, and he is on double my cities, and cities factor into that calculation as well. Some of my strength is from these Nomad Marauder units, which I guess I could delete. Upkeep somewhere here. It's not that much, 36 gold, whatever. It's 2 hamlets. We can deal with it. We'll try to start the Colossus in 2 turns, maybe 3, like whenever we can afford the iron. Should be a couple turns. It would be really great to lock that in. So, all right, let's go ahead and send this back. I think this is the more interesting thing to do, so I'm going to do it. Sending this one back. Okay, we are back on turn 74. We can improve pagan opinion. We can persecute the pagans. Or we could take a 20 opinion hit for both of them. I think we're going to end up just forcing them to repair the statues. None of our families are at risk of conversion, so that should be fine. We should take civics boost, and just because it can't hurt to have civics. So we'll go ahead and take that. And then we have this event to upgrade the religious leader. I think I picked charisma, but it doesn't really matter because she's not serving in any role. And then here we're going to commit. And we got a chancellor since we have smoked wheels, so we assign her. She's pretty young. No one was particularly good. Ideally, you want no wisdom. We're going to rush out a counterfract archer. And then we're going to start moving units over. There's a cool new feature with this patch that you can hold down / or this button down here that you see light up when I hold down / that shows you what Mojo can see, so I can position my units safely out of range of what he can see. So we'll do that. I tried, and I cannot force march all the way. I just don't have enough orders. It's actually quite a ways, and there's no roads. And then I'm going to move the scout just to keep an eye on what's going on. And then, as we can see, he still doesn't have vision of my approach, so we should be fine there. We will apply a general there. Start a farm here. We'll start a barracks. We're going to move the other worker down south. The rationale there is I would likely start Colossus next turn or so. No legs, by the way, since he's Babylon and had that 11 or 14 discipline leader, he's got a ton of money in the bank. And to sweeten the pot of me attacking Mojo and avenging Babylon, he's going to try to send me some resources to help out, which I really appreciate, considering I don't necessarily have to attack Mojo right now. But hey, if Babylon wants to pay for the armies of Persia to march north, very appreciated. We can build the Colossus and name it in honor of the Babylonian ruler. We'll start an Elder Monk here and get a council because we're a turn away from finishing our ranges, and we'll want to use to get the double apprentice officer there. This city is going to be a monster for military production. Here, we move this unit down here and then grab Fierce because that was available. Also Tutor, and then we are going to upgrade these two to pick up Marksman because they had it available. And then lastly, we're going to move this over here and this over here just for safety. Thought about moving over there, not actually going to move over there. Eventually, we will potentially fort this up, so we can mark like fort and fort. So that will be a place where we can put some units there to be defensive. Basically make it very hard to attack in. We'll probably also want to expand borders with something. So yeah, so that's that turn. I don't think I have anything else I want to do with my remaining orders. Next turn we will probably pull this down. It's pretty terrible terrain, so it's going to take 2 turns, but we'll want to start the ministry. This will go off and start the Colossus, and we'll start the academy. That's a higher priority than getting that random range up a little faster. Yeah, it is going to be exciting times. We'll see whether Mojo notices this or whether we have a complete sneak attack next turn, which of course would be pretty incredible. Meanwhile, in the north here, we can see Babylon has fallen. This city, Uruk, has also fallen. Intel I've received from Nolegs tells me basically the army composition Mojo is running up there, primarily axemen and macemen and some rams, maybe some chariots as well. Frederik has also attacked against Nolegs, but Nolegs is kind of off to the side now. He might lose his city, but he's kind of off to the side. He also has this city on a boat bridge here, which is really interesting to see. So he can continue to be a thorn in both Mojo and Frederik's side. And the fact that I have kind of am about to avenge him on Assyria means that he can potentially be an ally, a very rich ally. Yeah, I think he has something like 26,000 gold, which is incredible. Obviously, you can't send gold directly, but you can send resources. So that is going to be very, very useful to have such an ally and to be able to rely on them to get stuff done, like build wonders. Two last wonders that we want, Circus Maximus, that food is going to be a problem, and then the stone. So, but the stone should be fine, and we'll get Colossus. And we can also consider Mausoleum. It does require strong, but we have another strong city here, so also a Mausoleum is an option. We could probably put it in here once we get 1200 stone. No particular rush, though. That one's not particularly urgent, but hey, when you're ahead, get more ahead. And yeah, Assur looks very vulnerable. 11 defense. It has no walls. It's just a champion seat. So, I guess 18 defense, sorry. He's on 7 laws. Frederik is on 6. He's on 6. I'm on 8. So yeah, builds well. We will see how Mojo reacts to this. It is going to be very interesting. Fun times ahead here. So going to send this one back and see how things go. Welcome to turn 75. Mojo, as far as I can tell, did not see the attack coming. Got a couple events. Inspiration for the Ishtar Gate. Give us Cunning or Fierce or Engineer. I'm going to go ahead and take Fierce for infantry unit damage on my next ruler. We could make Mankians in the state religion, no thanks. Or just get Opinion Judaism by pissing off the Mankian ruler. Well. And then Civics Boost, we'll take Doctrine because we don't really want the other two. Could also see a case for land consolidation, but Doctrine is going to be really great. We have a lot of stone income, which means we can get temples up and running with our disciples. So we may actually want to swap to Tolerance at some point. Because I don't know how much more order rushing we're actually going to have. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the attack. I planned this out, and okay, so first, I really should have gotten Constitution last turn, or decrees running in both those cities for additional orders. Always good to do that before the turn you attack, but I did not do that. Fortunately, we have enough orders to do what we want, and 9 units is just enough. This Maceman just got produced. We can't kill it and take the city, and I prioritize killing the city, but I do want to surround the Maceman. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Lots of little moves here, some force marches, but not too many. That move being close helped a lot. So this is what the position looks like here right before we attack. I've completely surrounded the Maceman, and now we're going to go ahead and attack the city. We've got a lot of Cataphract Archers with Marksman promotion, which helps a lot, and then we just take it out. And that's our city. And we did that pretty much as order efficiently as possible so that we can have a couple orders left. No Legs, importantly, sent me some enormous amounts of resources here. You can see 400 food and 400 iron, which I am very grateful to No Legs for. And I will start the Colossus in his honor. And then move this work because I want to be able to start a ministry and an academy next turn in this city. We'll pick Doctrine and resolve the events and then start a Hamlet here. And then we're going to go ahead and rush out a Cataphract Archer here, probably the last one we rush out, and resolve the events, and start cities here, start a festival here to get a specialist up and running, get a treasury up and running here, start an apprentice officer here, and start a master officer there, and that pretty much ends the turn, pretty straightforward. Doctrine will actually be really nice. Temples are very, very strong, especially in cleric cities, of which we have 3, so can't hurt to get those temples up and running, especially since we've got some disciples, and they will give a bunch of orders. That's 12 orders thanks to Doctrine. So thoughts, considerations, I think it's worth doing the Cataphract Archer. I think it's worth getting the treasury. Oh, and I also swapped to freedom from slavery. Mathing it out, it breaks about even right now, but I'm going to be getting more and more specialists. And there's an event chain that's pretty nasty with rebels I don't want to deal with at this point. I would much rather have freedom at this point in the game. So we will see what Mojo does as his counterattack. He's probably going to be pretty angry. I would be if I suddenly got attacked. But, Babylon has helped finance this war and helped bring it about. I think it all goes back to Mojo destroying a tribal party from No Legs from Babylon. And that really, set off a chain of diplomacy here. I became aware. Also, just like going up to that many cities this early, you may counterattack here. We may just hide these workers. I don't think I can lose anything. No, he can do 19 damage. He can't do 20. So, and we have this waiting in the wings to deal with anything that comes up. So we may see some skirmishing here, but we should be fine. And yeah, I don't have the orders to move this over, but this can get over if needed. Got 60 orders coming up next turn. A bunch of idols workers that we'd like to take care of here. I think freedom is worth going to. We do need to fix Mankian opinion at the moment. I'm not sure what I can do with it. Not great, because it's pissing off the entire religion. We can, of course, do a Holy Synod, except we don't have metaphysics at the moment. So, you know, the only other choice is make it state religion, though, and we don't want to do that. So, I guess we just have to deal and hope we don't get too many dissents popping up. It is pretty much in all of our cities, 8, so that's going to be kind of crap. Yeah, but we will hopefully capture a sword here, take out this, and deal with his counterattack. He's on 6 laws, though, and he just lost his capital, which is probably his primary military production. I don't think I can see inside the city while I'm capturing it. It should be ours in 4 years. Probably will make it a hunter city-ish? I'm not sure. Could be cleric. Probably hunter because of the ore and the horses. We'll see. So, yeah. Definitely going to get some reactions here, I'm sure. Decently well defended, though. And, of course, he's fighting a war up here as well. So, yeah. So he's got units up there, not down here. And it's a long march. So he does probably have some sea connections, so he can come back sooner rather than later. It's going to be really hard to kill this Cataphract Archer. 8 units, or just 8 strength units are pretty strong. If we need to, we can pull some of the ones we produce back north. We'll have another Palton cab we can upgrade next turn. And a Master Officer here. We're probably going to swap to Chariot production. We will see, though. Yeah, thinking this is a very nice attack. We're executed. Thought about this Colossus here, but it's easier here. I'd rather have the order. I really should have done Decree last turn, but I think I'm okay. I moved all the units I wanted to move, so I don't think it would have actually made a difference. Just a couple more worker moves that I would have enabled. And I think it's worth getting the treasury, though I can also see a case for getting Decree, but I'd rather have a 1-turn Decree, honestly, and I'm not quite at the 1-turn Decree. So once I get maybe a master scribe in the ministry or something, or a scholar, or just even these specialists on these resources should be great towards getting towards that 1-turn scribe, as well as the ministry just getting completed. So, or 1-turn decree. So, yeah. And here we'll probably start a, what do we got? We can probably start an officer there. All right. I think that's it for the turn. We'll see what our heir turns into next turn. Highlander, Fierce, Bitter. Could be a Zealot. Who knows? We'll see. And yeah, we will see how Mojo reacts. This is a spicy turn 75, and at the same time, Frederik has launched an offensive, so we'll see how that goes as well, and we'll see what Rome does. So, all sorts of fun stuff. We may have to retreat a little bit here, but I'm pretty sure this will be able to handle anything Mojo has down here. We may even be able to threaten the city, realistically, although I'd much rather take this city first. So, we'll see. We'll have 3 Cataphract Archers to play with in the south soon. All right, let's send this back and see how it goes. An unscheduled turn 75 update from Mojo. Persia has captured my capital with 9 cat archers. No chance to recover, and he has surrendered the game. And this is now a post-game update. Final thoughts. Was not able to negotiate stable truces with Greece or Babylon. All in all, satisfied with this approach to secure as much terrain as possible. It would have been interesting how things would have been with a little bit more luck, and Nolegs not ghosting his diplomacy on the diplomatic front. Schemer Cleric's start was super strong. Patrons were not powerful in the game for him. Due to lack of practicing time, still on this level with the top players, some weaknesses at the war side of the game. This time he feels scouting is weak. I was proud of good use of crit, route, and leader commander flanking against Babylon. Brought him dozens of kills with almost no losses, killed an amazing total of 80 plus units. And yes, defending vast lands flanked by 4 enemies is not the easiest tasks. It was a great game. I'm grateful to be able to play my favorite 4X game against these laid-back silverbacks. Some screenshots. You can see the Cataphract Archers being occupied Assur. And now we see some stats that since Mojo surrendered, these are actually stats from after game, or he can see all the stats because he's now an observer. So you can see he has produced, I think he's killed more units than everyone else. This is the unit kill list. And I think this is military produced as well, 35 or something. Yes, and trying to figure out what this one is. Yeah, this would be specialist. He has 33 specialists. Military score, this is the graph at 75. Again, this is for Mojo. I did not see this during the game, since I was still in the game. Persia's at 49.54 and Mojo's at 36.07, with Frederik coming up strong and Rome not far behind. Growth, civics. Civics, Persia is way ahead of everyone else from civics. I guess the power of that double orator start has just given me an enormous civics lead for the entire game. That's actually a tremendous lead, actually. Training production. Assyria training is actually super strong. And culture. Persia also pulling ahead here. Happiness. Science. Persia and Greece, pretty close. Greece actually took the lead for a little bit, but look, Persia has it back. Money. Mojo's economy is not in great shape from an economic perspective, and you can definitely see when Babylon's 17 disciplined leader died. Oh my god, he was getting 2,000 gold a turn at one point. That's insanely strong. Orders, Persia at 56, Mojo at 47, and then Rome at 39, Frederik at 35. Food, iron, stone. Yeah, I probably overbuilt a little bit of stone, but it did give me quite a lot of eco, but I probably did not need 400 stone a turn. Wood, surprisingly fluffy, is number 1. Mojo's final tech tree, and the final map that he saw. That ends the turn updates for Mojo. Thank you, Mojo, for the great game, and we'll continue now with turns from other players. Turn 76, no significant counterattacks from Mojo, and in fact, Mojo has surrendered. He has tapped out of the game. Basically, the surprise attack was too crushing, and he's engaged in a war against Frederik and Babylon in the north. See Frederik here approaching Babylon. So, yeah, that's disappointing to see him tap out, but understandable. There's a couple things I would like to do this turn, and I don't have enough to do all of the things I would like to do. I'd like to pick up epics to speed up these cities getting to strong, but I don't know that that will actually work, so I just don't have the civics for it, especially since the Mankians are minus 67. I really want to solve it. My heir, unfortunately, is a tactician or a zealot, which sucks. I will take zealot, but I really wanted scholar. So that's unfortunate. I think I can get the foreign capital ambition from flipping Assur. I don't know. I'm going to assume I can. I'll be very sad if I can't. But Babylon has pinged up there, so maybe the foreign capital will keep bouncing around. We'll see as Assyria gets chopped up. Really uncertain what's going to happen to the game now. Babylon's basically on 2 cities left. So, yeah. And Rome will probably start doing something, and then the AI has attacked here. But yeah, I'm going to try to take that ambition. Maybe I'll get credit for it with taking Assur. That'd be great. Easy ambition. And if not, we'll just deal with it. And then lastly, we have Descent in this city. We're going to spend civics to make them happy for 40 years, because I really want to get them out of negative. They are in too many cities. And I'll suppress Descent in that city. Meanwhile, here in the north, I am going to want to take this city next. And just sort of make my way east. Seems reasonable. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. So we'll resolve those events, suppress Descent there, and yeah, move our scout around, get some vision, move here, and yeah, work this out a little bit. Should be able to take out the unit and the city. Just need to make sure I use my strongest units to do it. The commander promotion is really, really strong, as is the zealot. We'll also want to assign our daughter as a general next turn. Do not have the orders to do so this turn. So there we go. I'll start apprentice officer there in Parsa. Since we're probably going to be using it for military protection, or at least I'd like the option to do so. Start a decree here, because I don't have citizen for it, and I really could use 9 more orders right now. Then we'll start the ministry, start apprentice officers there. We also dealt with the Assyrian unit in the south, and then move these 2 over here just to have units in the Near the front, if Mojo or if Fluffy wants to do any sort of hero silliness, we have, I mean, it's going to be hard here, but we can do so. We will definitely get these forts up just to protect here. We'd like to stay on good terms with Fluffy, but we'll see. I can definitely understand why he would want to attack me, because I'm now going to be game leader very shortly, especially once these cities flip. So, Doctrine in 2. Yeah, so... Yeah, so, yeah, marry off daughter I think I have for next turn, and then assign daughter as general on 78. Might as well get her some XP as a zealot. Yeah, so Highlander Fierce is going to be really, really nice. Probably on one of these units, highly promoted ones. This one would be good for her. So you can actually rename units here by saying Cataphract Archer, Princess's Guard. And she can assign there. All right, I think that ends the turn, so I'm going to go ahead and send some back. Turn 77, we continue. Worth noting, Fluffy has started a fort here and put a fortified status here. We're going to do the same thing and fortify. Goals for this turn are take the next city over here. We're going to stop purging Christianity because probably was a mistake and we can't purge the holy city. So yeah, it's going to take 48 years for that minus to go away, which is kind of shit, but it's not good. I mean, we could purge here, but I'd rather get this back over here to start a temple in this city, honestly, and also pull this disciple over there to get another temple started. So event-wise, we can take humble or compassionate. I'm going to go with compassionate just to fix that -2 charisma. I'm not really too enthralled with that ruler, honestly, at that air. All right, so let's resolve events here. Start the fort, protect it with our Cataphract Archer, heal up. Attack here, slowly whittle down this city a bit. Healing up, starting a decree here, because I desperately need orders and I don't have a free citizen there anyway. We will scout around here, capture this. One force march from that zealot here. Spawn some rebels through an event. We get 600 training off of it. Then we clear this out. Make sure we're still capturing all the cities. Won't quite have enough to kill that one, but we can deal some damage and should die next turn. Here, we will move this over here to upgrade. And then move that monk over, as we mentioned. We'll repair that ruined tile from, I think, an event a while back. And then basically start some hamlets here. I really need gold badly. And then we'll move, our last turn, we will move here to start a actually I think I'd rather marry my heir off. Ugh. Alright, well, family marriage to the clerics. And then we'll move one here. I'm just going to buy one just to start this hamlet. Because why not? We still have 2 workers there ready to go. So, okay. That ends that turn. Double check our notes. Marry off daughter. Yep, we're pulling our monastery. Yeah, I thought about going there. We can purge if so desired with this one. So we can consider purging, but realistically, it's not worth it, I think, honestly. Can also influence the head of Mankinism, but we already are influencing, so that'll help a little bit. Then we can potentially influence the head of Christianity, question mark, not sure. Yeah, so Assyria is down to 15 cities, so they're losing stuff in the north as well. I expect Babylon to fall soon. Frederik and Greece and Babylon have made peace, so that bodes, or truce at least, so that bodes well. Fluffy is militarizing here. We're going to try to grab this city. Unsure about this city. Want to get better vision here. Don't see what's going on. Doctrine. Hopefully we can get... for close, we really do need to get vision of the map because we're very blind at the moment. We also don't have that great science up here. We only have 66. I think it's probably time to go back to specialists here. We definitely got the advantage we wanted out of that. We are 5 years away here, and not 16 years away here. 8 years but no horses. 14 years. And 7 years. So we're getting there. Realistically, though, I think we just want to go straight for barding as quickly as we can. I don't know that I have to... Oh, cartography I think is worth it. So cartography into barding is the current plan. And then we'll backfill. Doctrine. Yeah, machinery would have been nice, but that's not that big a deal, honestly. I need to get these workers back to work. All these military moves, especially these distant moves, have been very, very expensive. So this won't collapse borders, sadly. I don't think so. So, all right. Definitely an interesting turn. Not really sure what's going on diplomatically. Obviously, I am the biggest threat in the world at the moment, point leader and strongest militarily, so don't expect cooperation from anyone at this point. But we will do what we can. Yeah, would love to probably send this one over here and send upgraded one, whatever the name of that city is, Northwest City. Karkash. And then, yeah, these will wrap up north, and then, I don't know. We will see here. We're very blind at the moment. We definitely need some agents. So we'll get some forts up here. We're definitely not in a state of war with Fluffy, just defensive, you know. Definitely want to expand borders with something, not sure what. Don't even have drama yet, so I can't do that. Keep healing that. Yeah, otherwise seems pretty okay at the moment. And we are 7 years away, so we're going to start banking stone. Our initial goal is and food. Our initial goal is definitely going to be Circus Maximus, and then Pantheon next. Greece is strong. We can't know how close they are because we don't have an agent. So they might beat us to Legendary. Circus Maximus is more important than Pantheon, I think. Swift on mountain units is amazing, and the 10 XP gear is amazing. State religion is nice as well. So Mausoleum, maybe later. We don't have that many turns to Circus Maximus. So, alright, I think that ends this turn. Really wish I had a better heir. Sucks that we don't have one. Maybe she'll marry off and get us something better. So, alright, lots of zealots. Why so many zealots? So sad. At least they all like each other. So, alright, and when our orator ruler loses, we'll lose 9 as well. So, alright, that ends this turn. Let's go ahead and send it back. Turn 78. So we can continue to prosecute the war against Assyria, but Rome has decided to do some things. You may recall I started a fort here last turn. Rome has now moved in, bought in a bazillion tiles, and is being pretty aggressive. So I think it's time for us to make peace with Assyria. Conveniently, we have an event where they will offer us truce. I don't want to break my event stack, so I'm not going to show it. TLDR, we're going to go south to Rome. We're actually going to abdicate as well, because I would like to have a zealot ruler. It's time to go to war. So let's do the event stack. So we pick metaphysics, because I want to be able to do High Synod to fix my relationship with Christians, because I'm not going to be purging. We also have an event to enable the Christians to essentially stop being persecuted, so that helps a little bit as well. So we'll get rid of that minus 80% modifier. So now they're just minus 109. Still we'll get dissent from them, but we're going to deal with that. And then here we abdicate immediately. That gives us an extra movement as a zealot ruler, because that wonderful +1 fatigue. And then we're going to pull troops in here. This unit that we upgraded last turn can take Heckler and Horsebane, so that's going to be super useful. We're basically going to do that, pull these units that were attacking that city over there. Assyria has also offered us truce and will give us 104 gold a turn, so we're going to take that. And then here we attack Rome and basically route through, kill his hero unit, most important unit to kill. And then we're going to kill some more. I won't be able to kill, I'm only going to be able to kill 2 units just out of the troops in the region. That's another reason to go Zealot to pull troops down. We will kill that and then pull over here. And then we won't quite be able to kill that, but we will make sure it doesn't escape, which is pretty much just as good as killing it. So here, next priority is going to be orders. So, and it seems like we have broken our event stack. Looks like accepting a truce breaks the event stack. So that's good to know. Okay. Yeah, so we will accept the truce. And now we're going to have to manually do our events, which is kind of shit. In any case, we're going to start a temple here. I know I said palace, but this city's not going to get legendary for a long time. I don't care. I'd rather have the temple. The reason I want temples is I want orders. I'll also start a temple here. That's an order. The reason cleric cities are prioritized because they get double bonus. And here, likewise, I'm going to start another temple, and we will put the Circus Maximus here, and then we'll put the palace on another tile that we can put it on. We will care about the palace because we're going to get to legendary here. So let's see here. So we can remind ourselves to put the palace on that tile, and then we'll put the Circus Maximus there, which I guess it cleared because I wanted to cancel. All right, so okay. Next, we are going to wake up all our disciples and see what else we can build with here. We're just going to build a temple here. We could go build it on a hill. This gets us 1 turn faster, so at the cost of losing a lumber mill tile, not a big problem. Next, I'm going to take this highly upgraded one, and I'm going to force march the hell out of it down to here. Add a general, literally ourselves, as general. And the reason we want her in range is as the leader, she gets 1 point of extra movements. This should be able to engage over here next turn and do insane amounts of damage to his troops. So we're basically trying to pull everything over as much as possible and get more troops. Likewise, we're going to rush with training on Cataphract Archers to get another Cataphract Archer up. We will want to rally at some point. We don't have the civics to rally, and it's important for us to convert to Judaism. So we're going to do that. We get this cool event chain. We'll take the wisdom, and then we will send a messenger to Assyria to get additional information. I looked into this event chain, and as far as I can tell, the TLDR is we might get some nice benefits after some time. I don't really care about the culture right now. I'd rather have those nice benefits potentially. So might as well do that. All right, so here we're going to start a monk. Here we are going to basically keep spamming decrees forever, ever. So yeah, we need orders badly, and even more so. And here we can start a second apprentice officer to round out our ranges. Those are all our workers, but we're not done with our moves. Another advantage here of having Zealot is these things are just much more mobile. So that's wonderful. We can move this one into our territory here, potentially healing it if we have orders. I'm unconvinced that we will have orders. So we're going to pull this one down as well. Basically try to pull anyone that's close by back to be able to come down south to Rome. We'll be able to move 4 tiles thanks to Zealot. Basically trying to move our strongest ones over as much as possible. And we're definitely not going to have orders to pull everything down. So we'll pull this down, and should be better next turn because we're not going to be force marching everyone everywhere. So that will help quite a bit. We will be only on 50 orders, but 59. So that's all right. But these temples should come online pretty soon. We'll have 2 from here, 1 from here, 1 more from here, and then 2 from here. So that will help a little bit. Conveniently, we got Doctrine. Metaphysics will enable us to steal tech. With Cartography, we do really want to get that portcullis up at some point. And yeah, I think Meanwhile, we are probably going to finish apprentice officers here. No real need to change our strategy too much. We're going to have 1, 2, 3 pelotons in the field, 4. This will be 5. 5 pelotons should be able to hold this. I just don't see his units doing. We have a pretty big tech advantage. Even with a hero, he's going to really struggle. And since we killed his hero unit, he won't be able to attack with it next turn. We will likely want to get this scout in there next turn. Really, really wish we had Portcullis. But it's going to be hard for him to deal. I'm pretty sure there's a pass in the mountains from some of the intel that StBlak shared with me before he was eliminated. So, yeah. I would like to influence the leader of the hunters, but he's ill. So the problem is he could die on me. So I don't think it's worth doing that. We can consider rallying. We can consider influencing. Consider rally, influence, synod, all things to consider next turn. Definitely going to be a little tense here, but I think with these units coming south, we should be able to hold. Do not really care about that rebel. We can deal with it later. Just do not have the spare order at the moment. It can like kill there or maybe wander north or something. It's a Mojo rebel anyway. So, and it might actually get ported out because we're truced with Mojo now. And Mojo is conveniently giving us 104 gold a turn to truce. So you can deal with those rebels. Assyria will probably eventually fall apart. Frederik, unfortunately, is going to be able to gnaw off large parts of Assyria. Nothing we can do, but you can argue I should have just gone and attacked Rome and kept up my alliance with Mojo, or not alliance, but like detente with Mojo. That probably would have been a better idea. Maybe makes for a less interesting game, though. So went ahead and did that. We'll see. We have a pretty significant tech lead. 3 laws against 8 is going to be tough. He doesn't have access to even his UU, except for I guess one of these cities has probably had a stronghold, so he can build out of there, but we can deny that very quickly. We'll eventually get boats, probably from this city. Once we finish stuff here, potentially we'll get a trireme or something. May actually want to just start a boat now, because it will give us better... I'm actually going to start a boat just to have one option for a boat next turn. Because I could anchor it here, for example, and give myself somewhat decent movement along the coast. So that's an option. So let's take that boat option. And there's no particular rush in getting that city online, because it doesn't have anything that can build, but we can always upgrade that boat to a trireme once we get cartography. Okay, so this is a exciting turn in the game. I think I captured the 3 cities I really cared about. I will eventually really want this one, and potentially this one, but I can clean that up later. It's not like Frederik is going to swoop down and take this particular city. I don't really care about these. They're kind of crap. This one, particularly useful as the family seat. Basically, the number of specialists the city has is a good indicator of its value. Any sort of low specialist cities, not particularly valuable. This one definitely want to take, but do not have the tempo to deal with it right now, and just want to go deal with Rome. I think this sort of aggressive immediate counterplay to sort of aggressive placement like that is worth doing. If I couldn't kill his hero unit immediately, I don't think I would have done it, but the way he placed things and with some force marching enabled me to kill his hero unit, which is really great. And yeah, the Zealot is coming down south and is pretty angry. So yeah, so should be able to reach down here and engage. I don't want to burn that much on the Byreme, and it's just a turn. So that will also help us sail over here, anchor, and go to town. All right, so we're just going to keep pumping things out as much as we can. We won't be able to rush a Cata Archer next turn, but we are just going to keep bringing all our Cata Archers south. Conveniently, Assyria is going to be a little bit of a buffer between us and Frederik. Frederik's going to take some time to chew through those cities, and AI Assyria has all its units to the north, so that actually gets us time to cover to deal with Fluffy in the south. All right, so lots of action, and exciting to see how this game continues to develop. So we should have Assur next turn as well, and Tushpa and Nisibis the turn after that. So that will help a little bit. Although we don't have an Orator anymore, we're just running on a Zealot. Probably going to have the Zealot all the way to the end of the game, but she's a smart Zealot with 3 wisdom. So, and being able to hurry production with training is actually kind of strong, as well as basically religious happiness. We do want to fix some of these opinions here, but hopefully that won't be too bad. I think we have some fur here that, yeah, we could give it directly to the hunters, but we don't have the orders to do that. So we could send that. Or just bonus 4 years away. So potentially we say give for 2 hunters. Frederik, of course, can revoke that anytime, so we can think about it as well. Meanwhile, we're going to basically pull everything south. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 hiding under the trees, 5 units that are marching south. 3 will probably just stay in the north. And then, yeah, so we should be able to bring significant force to bear here in a couple turns. And the fact that we were able to kill 3 and effectively 4 units, he will potentially be, he could kill this cavalry if he wants to. And then he can route through that worker. So he could kind of escape, but not quite. And of course that will involve the Hostistus moving out of position. So yeah, we'll get that by ream over there in a couple turns. We have walls on all these cities. He has to reassign the hero general, which is kind of a pain. And we can probably snipe it or just fall back quite a bit and spread out so he can't there's no rush. But I do think we had an opportunity to kill it, and it'd be better than it like continuing to march in. Like if you see a hero leader that you can kill, that you can deny, then definitely do that. Econ's going to be on hold, but Econ's in decent shape. So apart from very low wood, I think we're okay. Would love to get more mines up and running. Do not have the orders to do that right now. The temple economy will help quite a bit. I think we've got 1 temple up and running, 2 temple up and running, and then 3 temple up and running, and then 4 temple up and running. So that's going to help as well. Doctrine's actually coming through. Pretty clutch here to enable that. And then Orchespawn is 4 years away from Citadel. It's part of the reason I do not want to move that fur. I can check next turn to see whether it actually makes a difference in terms of when that speeds up. And then Parsa is 6 years away from Legendary, and we will be getting Circus Maximus basically immediately. So we need quite a lot of food, which we have, and quite a lot of stone, which we should get easily. So, all right, I think that's the turn. Excited to see how this game continues to develop. Turn 79, we lost a worker and an elite Amazon cavalry to this champion chariot unit. It's okay, we'll take vengeance. Fluffy's still weaker. Got an event chain. We will get a court minister, which is great. We will designate this governor as Cohen. We'll take stirrups, because none of the other techs are on the line. We'll appoint a new ambassador, and we don't really have stuff for new governors, and we will give this family to hunters. Our goal is to get hunters to friendly, so we'll resolve all those events. Appointing her as an ambassador. She's old, but hopefully by the time she passes away, we'll have a new, better ambassador. We'll give it to hunters, and hunters now positive. We will start moving everyone over. We'll force march our leader over here and get some kills going. And then reposition some units more defensively here. I don't know the extent of these mountains. I think there is a pass here, but I don't know where the rest of his units are. It's interesting, he has dropped down to much weaker after killing those units, so Fluffy may not be as scary as I thought or feared. I guess I may just have overreacted to that hero unit and freaked out. Given that, gonna continue moving units south, but probably gonna start a decree here because I want to have extra orders, because my decree here will not finish in time. We do have a judge there. We may rush that out, actually. We will influence, and we'll also start, so we'll influence the Christian leader, and we will also start a religious synod to try to solve Christianity. It's happiness, because we're going to need to as we occupy these cities. Also, we did get credit for our ambition of capturing the foreign capital. We will... What are we doing here? We're influencing the statesman leader because she doesn't like us. She's of the wrong, not influencing, but changing her religion. And then we're continuing to, what do we do here? We took away fur from this city. It doesn't actually make a difference, so it can be 3 culture and give it to hunters to bolster their opinion even more. Don't really care about statesman opinion that much. We don't have that many statesman military units yet, so that should be fine. Start an apprentice officer there. Then start some mines, trying to prioritize sites that have the biggest return for mining. And then we'll start, I think I will start a bireme here. As you can see, I keep going back and forth. I think I do end up on the bireme. Probably should have started last turn, come to think of that. We will have this bireme. Having 2 biremes out will be nice. So really should have started last turn. Don't think it's worth rushing it out. I think I'd rather have the training in my pocket. We can gnaw through this in 2 turns as well. You'll probably continue walling it off, and then the bireme just let us position around. Tempo is everything. Let's go ahead and grab the bireme next turn. That'll let us anchor pretty aggressively as well. Tempo is so important in this game, and this bireme is too far away. So we can rush the bireme with training, get the decree underway, get this decree started. Don't have enough orders or really civics for starting another governor. Start a master monk here, just to keep bumping up this city. Once we get some growth, we can potentially get officers up here. Yeah, our econ is kind of stalled out at the moment. Just don't have orders for everything. Yeah. I think it was the right call to abdicate out of our orator. It does cost us quite a lot of orders, though, and losing eloquent everywhere actually hurt quite a lot. I don't think I noticed it that much. I think I kind of overreacted to the threat Fluffy posed. I saw the hero leader and freaked out. In retrospect, it might have been fine to just continue leading with my orator, but we'll roll with the zealot leader. Some war party fun times. Get the bireme out, anchor it aggressively, land here, and just flood in with units. A lot of these things should also be nearby next turn. So that lines up nicely with the turn after anchoring. They hit with all these units. So okay, I think that concludes the turn. We are 5 years away from Circus Maximus, unless Frederik for some reason beats us to it and denies it. I would be very surprised if that happened, but I don't know. I don't have vision there. Don't actually have stirrups yet. We really do need portcullis and cartography, but we'll use that as fill-in on our way to barding. So, all right, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, definitely want to get more iron because we're going to need a lot of it. Food situation is pretty good, but iron is really the constraint at the moment. So that's pretty much it for this turn. Let's go ahead and send this one back. We saw Hostatus here. It's not going to matter. It's much weaker now, so that may actually be more of a stomp than I expected. The hero leader is, of course, dangerous, but even if he double attacks, it's just going to be very hard for him to dislodge my units, and I'm pouring more and more 8-strength units now. So the double boats will also let me seize Rome, and Rome has lots of nice wonders that I would like the lighthouse and especially Apadana for financial purposes. And then I can either chew up the rest of Assyria or just go for Frederik or yeah, so we'll see. Or just chip to back and defend and go for a point victory. We'll see. Yeah, we are now in 10 cities, soon to be 12. Definitely trying to fix the Christian opinion here. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so that's pretty much it for this turn. Let's go ahead and send it back. All right, yep.
Hello, so turn 80, once again a post-turn report, because I forgot to do it during my turn. So in the meantime, Alcaras has played as well, and Mojo. So Mojo continued his devastating attack. I retreated my archers in Frederik's territory, who actually betrayed me and killed all my units here, and moved on to Heridu. So I managed to convince Alcaraz, who was getting worried about Mojo's expansion, to declare war. Well, I didn't really convince him myself. I think he was genuinely worried about Assyria's expansion, and Frederik was probably in diplomacy with them as well. So he attacked Assyria and Tushpa, I was immensely rich. I'm still quite rich, but I was even richer at the time. A consequence of having had a very high disciplined governor in a city that is in itself generating a good amount of money with 3 fur trappers in a hunter city. So that was a huge multiplier plus the innate value of the discipline. So I sent him quite a sizable amount of resources, if I remember correctly, 400 food and 400 iron to help him. I intended to bargain with Frederik actually to get something back, because anyway I'm playing from behind quite clearly. I have no contention to win, but I enjoyed trying to exact vengeance for being attacked. So alcaras moved in anyway, and Mojo surrendered after like the first turn of attack. Mojo alcaras took Assyria and then moved on to Tushpa, and after that I understand he was threatened by Fluffy, so he signed truce with Mojo AI. That meant that Frederik and Mojo were in a race for Assyria essentially, and of course Mojo settled champion cities, which are painful to take, and Babylon became his capital after Assyria was taken. So I negotiated and paid large amounts of resources to Frederik to get back my cities, which accelerates him as well because he doesn't have to hold him, and he wanted the wood, but if I could pay him, I think that's already 500 wood I sent him, and he's getting Uruk as well. It just accelerates him. So essentially, having me in the corner, I'm definitely not a threat to him. And I can supplement him because I am rich, and it's just sad that I lost 4 archers to start with, because I would definitely be faster and more helpful with an additional 4 archers, just as well if he didn't have to sacrifice his alpha strike here, but could use it to make actual gain against Uruk or even my city, even Eridu, rather than dealing with troops. Would have been more valuable, but probably didn't emphasize clearly enough that I had enough to make it valuable. So yeah. So anyway, I'm looking at probably eliminating this small blob of units remaining from Assyria next turn. I'll have 1 more archer. Should be able to deal with the mace man, no problem. Not quite sure if I'll route through it and accept the counterattack. Still a lot of damage. Or if I'll just do it with archer. I'll have 4 archer next turn. I should be able to do it, possibly with the help of the Byrim anyway. And after that I'll be moving on to Babylon and try to regain my old capital. Of course, killing the ram would be valuable as well. I'm sure it would be no issue at all for Frederik if he wants to do it, since he has all mounted units essentially, and Frederik will want to move into Assyria. So yeah, there are still unsettled sites in the middle. I would be happy just grabbing maybe 1 extra site along the coast or something like that. There are still many Assyrian cities, still 15 cities. So without those sites settled, so I can guess 1, 2, 3. Frederik will want the coast. 5 with StBlak. These 2 are Argentine, but I don't know how many cities there are in the west. Probably at least these 2, and I guess some in the center of the map. Got to see a few more intel that I can show from screenshot in diplomacy. But so that's where we stand. I'm becoming a small protectorate in the north of the map, trying to regain my holdings. So Babylon, I would probably make it a sage city, because I think all 5 specialists are urban, if I remember correctly. Maybe I have a minor here. So and that would make me let's say a small auxiliary nation, but still existing, and yeah, I automatically think Frederik is getting a good deal, because he can join the coast, and that's still valuable cities, and accelerate his movement. Essentially, having someone at peace, he has more gain to do by going against Assyria. So I still haven't met Fluffy. I haven't met StBlak before I got eliminated either. So that's where we are. I'm mostly gutted scientifically and economically, but well, we'll see how that goes. The good part is that I got to reach Port Calis at least, and I'll be going metaphysics and cartography next to be able to still research, which would be extra valuable in my position with very few cities, but with very large opponent empires. So that's where we'll be going, and yeah, not so great a position, but I'm still having a lot of fun with this game, and I hope I'll manage to get across the message that if you attack me, you better finish me. So, and that's it. So, see you soon.
Turn 80 situation report from your deadest friend. A lot has happened since turn 70. Quite a lot. I'm sure you've heard from the other players, but I'm going to give you a quick recap anyway. Persia attacked about 4 turns, about 74-ish, and after losing 1 city and 0 units, Assyria surrendered. He's out of the game, which was a surprise to me and probably to some of the other players as well, given that some other players have put up with far worse and not surrendered. But it was a very scary 2-front war, and he had been fighting the money hole and the happiness hole for a while, so perhaps he had simply had enough. We'll have to really see what motivated that decision, because it really felt preemptive from this perspective. A few turns after that, Rome put its units on the border with Persia, and Persia attacked him, which I think it was mostly the hero leader which freaked Alcaras out. He has a fear of hero leaders and their launch offensives, so we'll see how this goes. I can't imagine it goes well for Rome, but he and Babylon and actually AI Assyria have all taken their turns already, so perhaps I will load this game up again just to see how that attack went. I may as well bring you along for the ride. But the thing you're really here for, the charts. Everyone loves charts. National wealth. Babylon seems to have found something to spend his money on, maybe. Assyria is still broke. Nothing else new there. Population. Persia has climbed to number 1. Assyria has lost land to both Persia and I believe to Greece as well. I believe Greece took these 2 cities off of, I believe this one off of Babylon and this one off of Assyria. He's also settled this city here and is attacking over here. Assyria was attacking into Babylon, but Greece seems to have come to his aid, which is interesting. I'd love to know the diplomacy behind that move. Maybe he's trying to get to Babylon before Babylon retakes it? I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Charts. Total population. Persia's out in front. Babylon is trailing. Rome has a surprising population given how few cities he has. Specialists. Persia and Greece are competing for science right now, so you're going to see a lot of specialists out of them. 51 and 42. Only 8 out of Babylon. Yeah, he's really struggling right now. He's lost his capital. It's kind of surprising that having taken another capital, a Babylon capital. Assyria only has 31. I suppose he did lose his capital to Persia, but still surprising. Workers. Still in number 4, despite having been dead for 20 turns. Hell yes. But, wow, 30, that's a lot. 24 is not mock either. Military units produced, this one's funny. Persia's only produced 21. He's produced the fewest military units in the game, and look what he's got. Just terrifying. He was just left alone for the entire early game. And now he's come out to play in the mid game in a big way. Fluffy's still leading that, 39. He's also leading units lost? No, Babylon has the most units lost. Greece has lost a single unit. Persia's lost 2. I wonder which 2 units he lost. Units killed. Syria way out front. 88 units killed. My god. Most of those are barbs, but that's still... Someone's phoning me. Future of me, edit this out. Future me, seamlessly edit this back in. Okay. Where was I? Camps cleared. No one cares. No camps left. Well, I suppose Babylon. Sorry, not Babylon. Greece did clear one, but yeah, no one cares. Laws adopted. Fluffy finally has 4 laws. Praise be, he can build his own strongholds. But Greece and Persia are the only ones who have access to their tier 2 unique unit. They're also kind of the other ones with the tech to do it anyway. Technologies discovered. Here, I've been alluding to this. 28, 26, 25, 23, 20, and 19. It doesn't look nearly as bad as it is. Longest reign, like who cares? Long reigns are good, but courtiers recruited. That's a lot of recruited courtiers, Persia. Yeah. Roads explored, none. Improvements controlled. This is sort of the best measure of economy, in my opinion. Persia out in front, with Greece and Rome being similar. It's really surprising that Fluffy has been able to keep up in this, despite having so many fewer workers. He's 10 workers lower, and yet he's actually ahead in improvements. I suppose a lot of that's from conquering Egypt, because I did build a lot, but still. Wonders. Persia and Rome both have 3. Soon Persia will have 4, which really does concentrate the victory points in a few areas. It means that this city over here in Persia has 6 victory points just for its wonders. This one down here will have another 2. There's 2 up here in Babylon and the Hanging Gardens. There are 4 over here in Rome and 2 down here in Waset. Some of those Persia can get to, and some of them he can't. I suspect that the presence of those wonders is partially motivating this attack, where he's willing to push deeper into Rome than he was into Assyria, because conquering these cities doesn't actually get him closer to victory, whereas if he can get the Apadana, the lighthouse, and the pyramids, those will be meaningful benefits to him. And perhaps Rome is just an easier mark. Growth. Yep, them's growth. The more cities you have, the more growth you got. Civics. Not as crazy as it was at its peak, but Persian civics are still wild. 430. Almost full double everyone. Crazy. Training. Training really matters a lot to Persia right now. He's got a zealot leader, so I expect he's trying to get that as high as he can. 333 is not bad. bad at all. Yeah. The others aren't too far behind, but still, quite a bit. Culture. Oh, he's out in front there too. Yeah, Persia's just in a dominant position. Greece's culture isn't bad, but yeah. Happiness. The AI has managed to pull back the happiness a lot. Kind of interesting. Must focus on it more, or perhaps it's just the loss of some cities. Losing some cities helps with happiness. Science. Yeah, this is what I mean. Rome is producing 77 science. Persia is producing 213. This is an insurmountable problem for Rome. Just any solutions he could find in the tech tree to his problem here, he's never going to get to. Although, when we talk about his situation, the tech tree might not be as useful to him in this current struggle as it might appear. But yeah, no, Persia and Greece are competing for science. I was actually talking to Persia about what situation. He thinks that Greece is ahead. Greece is not ahead, but I can see why he might think that, with Greece having the sages and having this many specialists in his capital. 11 specialists is a lot. I can see why he might think that Greece is ahead. And Greece is keeping up, despite having fewer cities. But it's clerics, man. You can't compete with this. You can't compete with this nonsense. He's building libraries. That's a ministry, but he is building libraries, right? Did I have a stroke? He's building a library. I saw it somewhere. Academy. There we go. Must already have the library? Wait, it goes... I'm not crazy. It does go. Library. I'm not crazy. It does go library first, right? Does he have a judge leader? No. Okay, well, I'm losing my mind. I might be mixing this up with a different game. It's been known to happen. You know, it's just... Yeah, it requires a library. I'm not crazy. Huh. Anyway. Getting distracted again. Back to the charts. The charts are what you're here for. Science. Money. Assyria's in the hole, but not nearly as bad as they were. Rome's making bank. Babylon's making bank. Yeah. Money. Fewer cities you have, the easier it is to make money. Yeah, because Assyria's capital was moved to Babylon, which is really interesting. This is not what I would have expected. I would have expected it to go to one of his other family seats, but it didn't. It went to Babylon, which suggests that it goes to the oldest city, because Babylon would have been founded immediately. It does, however, mean that his capital is now at the edge of his empire. This city down here must be costing him a fortune. Yeah, 74 in maintenance. Ooh, this city is not worth anything at this point. It's just too far away. Anyway, sorry, money. Persia took quite a few more cities, so I expect this to get worse, but it's actually gotten a little better. Interesting. Orders. This one's crazy. Look at this. 64 orders a turn. Holy cow. He's almost double Rome. He is double Greece. Just wild. A wild amount of orders. There's the Persian cleric order economy at work. Food. They're making food. Iron. They're making iron. Babylon's not making very much. Stone. Persia's making a lot, but the others are making enough, except for Babylon, who's dead in all but name. Wood. Well, Fluffy's making a lot of wood. That's good. Military score. Yeah, yikes. Yikes. 5,000. 5,800. That's a lot. That's a big number. Yeah, I wouldn't fancy Rome's chances here. But maybe but the terrain. We'll talk about it when we talk about their situations. Territory owned. Persia in the lead. Kind of surprising. Closer than you'd think, though. Between the four of them. Well, the three of them and the AI. Explored, resource price rather, victory points, and who cares about family opinion? These families no longer exist. Okay. Going through each of their perspectives, or each of their positions, to talk about strengths, weaknesses. Let's start with Babylon. Babylon, as I said, is dead in all but name. He's trying to hold on to his few remaining cities. His situation changes dramatically depending on what his diplomacy is like. If he has an agreement with Greece, where he was going to let Greece take these cities, and Greece was going to help him retake his territory, and together they were going to go fight Persia. Like, if that's where he's at, he's fine. But if he doesn't have an agreement with Greece, this is a really tenuous position. Because if Greece doesn't kill him, he will always remain here as a thorn in Greece's side. So Greece either needs to make friends with him or kill him. And Babylon needs to make that be the former. So, I don't know what his diplomacy is like. I know that his charts are looking horrible, but, yeah, Babylon is not doing so hot. It's not doing so hot. But we'll see. We'll see what he does. A little worker here. That seems wrong. Yeah, that seems wrong. I don't know. I wonder what his plan is there. Moving swiftly on. Persia. This is Persia's game. He's taken these three cities off Assyria. These were the three most developed. No, I think these two are more developed down here. But three pretty developed cities. The statesman... Is it statesman? No, the cleric. Assyrian cleric capital and the Assyrian champion capital. So, like, good cities. They're not very well developed, but they've got the basics. Mostly. I think Persia was kind of hoping that Assyria might have developed his cities a little more. He's now fighting Rome. If he can get his teeth into these slingers and these chariots, they're dead. He can route through this in no time at all. But he doesn't have a scout over here. He doesn't have good vision. I think he's going to be very cautious. I think he's going to stack up on this river. He's going to take this city to deny this coastal movement. But even then, this chariot, even without coastal movement, can get up in there and do a launch offensive. So Persia could lose several units next turn. Is it enough to save Rome? I kind of doubt it. But we're kind of getting to Rome's position a little more than Persia's, but going to Rome quickly, you don't really need any tech to hold back cataphract archers. There's nothing better than spearmen. Spearmen have anti-mounted 2. Spearmen have... It won't let me do this while I'm recording, so you're going to look at it this way. Spearmen have anti-mounted 2, 50% bonus versus melee combat versus mounted, which makes them trade pretty efficiently into cataphract archers. They cost half as much training, and half as much resources. Although Persia never pays full price for cataphract archers, so it's sort of, they're hypothetically 100, but no, you can't pay 100 because it's Persia's unit. So it's 75-75. Twice as much training and twice as much resources. So can a cataphract archer fight twice as many spearmen? No, not in dense enough numbers. It's really order expensive to be on the spearman side of this. But I have done it. It is a thing. Spearmen are the best thing you could build. And he is building them, but he doesn't have enough cities. He doesn't have enough production. That relies on a weight of numbers that he simply doesn't have. It looks really ugly. Persia's got this coastal movement set up. Persia's not going up and around to take this city, which I suspect is simply because he doesn't have, it's all in the fog of war to him. This worker's probably going to have to spend the rest of the game here to prevent Persian units from taking this city and then using this as a bridge in. Although this swamp and this desert would be a royal pain to fight through. Still, Rome really has to prevent him from getting past the mountain range. He has to choke him as much as possible. Rome has every tactical advantage, but is completely hosed in the strategic, in the science, in the orders, in the production. I'm sure he will use these units to the maximum of their abilities, and he's going to put himself in a tactically advantageous position, but I don't think it's enough. Yeah. Rome can't win the game on his own, so he needs to find an ally. And it's not going to be Persia at this point, so he's really got to be playing the diplomacy game with Greece. He's got to convince Greece that Greece can't win the game on his own, and that the two of them together can take down Persia. If he can do that, if the Greek Hoplite, I'm just going to call them hoplites because I don't know how to pronounce that word, because, English is hard. It's really not English, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Greece. Greece is the other player who's sort of still in the game, as it were. Rome. I'm getting these two backwards a lot, aren't I? Babylon and Rome are still in the game, but they're sort of fighting from behind. They're trying to stay in it and hope that they can take advantage of other players being distracted, or be a useful enough ally that they can become part of an alliance that wins, rather than winning outright on their own. Rome may not realize he's in that dire strait. He may not realize his science is as behind as he is. I think I was talking to Persia, and he said that he thought Rome was keeping up with science, which is a really terrible read. Rome is not keeping up with science, and he's not building things which could help that. He's not building libraries, specialists. He's rushing more military because he has to, because he's now in another war. Greece. He's taking this city off Assyria, which is an interesting choice. It's not a bad city. It helps him get control of the water across here. It means he needs fewer boats, but I don't know. He's sort of in a very defensive position, which is not bad. He's got a lot of science. He's got things going for him, but it's very hard for him to really reach out and kill the player who's winning, which is Persia, in that he's got Babylon and AI Assyria in the way in the north. He's got Rome in the way in the south. If he can cut through Assyria, then he'll have a lot of cities. But I'm not sure that really helps him that much. It just puts him in a money hole and gives him a territory he can't defend and a problem with Babylon. I think it's probably wiser to try to take Babylon itself, maybe. Maybe not even that. Maybe just let Babylon take Babylon and convince Babylon to go fight Assyria and retake his lands, and then in the meantime focus on helping Rome or even striking Rome in the back. This city is very valuable. If he can take this city, these two cities, it's going to be really hard for Persia to exert power all the way over here. Persia's bringing a boat around, but that means that every single Persian unit that wants to fight in Rome has to go all the way down along the coast, and then cross here, and then come up and back across. It's a really long reinforcement route. Assuming he can't get this open. Which he might. But if Greece gets here first, it wouldn't be that hard for Greece to get here first. I know he thinks he needs a boat on this inland sea, but he doesn't. He can boat across here. One boat can get all the way from there to there. And as soon as he lands, he's got a lot of troops. If he can make sure that this isn't a threat, probably by piecing out Assyria and convincing Babylon it's not worth it. Even if he has to give up Uruk, it's still probably worth it. To get Rome, to get these 4 well-developed, very defensible cities. This game keeps taking wild and twisty turns, so we'll have to see where it goes. Where the players go. Where Persia goes. He certainly seems to have gotten over his hang-up about attacking people. That's for sure.
Turn 80. Got a couple events here. We could take ambitions that I don't want to complete. I'd rather just take the XP. And then we're going to assign cities. I'm going to assign both these cities to statesmen, which will fix our reputation with statesmen. So, pretty straightforward and won't hurt too much the other families. Other than that, we will repair damage in those cities, and then we'll clear out that rebel. And here, we're going to attack into this, and then we're actually going to get this boat here and anchored, or landing next turn. We're going to move some of these around so that we can pull one of these units that has marksman and put it on this square to attack that tile again, swapping units to move it to the front here, and then get another attack in, which should let us clear that tile out next turn, while also enabling a lot of landings here. We'll continue moving everything south, taking advantage of the zealot bonus, which is really coming in handy here. We'll start a monk and a fisher here. Start a mine. Basically start mines everywhere else we can. Just trying to improve our iron income because we're going to need quite a bit of iron. So we'll move this one in position and then move that boat along the south shore, and that's it pretty much there. And then a reminder to start a citadel in 2 turns. Here we're some turns off. We could send our dies this way. Realistically, it's going to only take a turn off. Don't know that it's necessarily worth the effort at this point. We'll see though. So, yeah, we are 5 years away from Citadel there. This is just going to chill here maybe until that respawns or something. This is primarily focusing here right now on mines, honestly. The extra statesman sites will also get us some more orders. Babylon still has not fallen. So it looks like Frederik is slowly pushing in there. Don't know if he's landed across the shore here. We really do need to get spy masters up so we can get visibility. For now, we're just going to break through to Rome here. Should be doable, I believe, especially since he flipped to much weaker briefly next turn. Of course, he still has a hero leader, so we don't want to walk into a trap, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cataphract archers. Should be doable to break through here and deal some significant damage, although who knows what he actually has, but we should be able to start taking some cities off of him pretty quickly, hopefully. I don't see anything above at least 6 strength units, so yeah, we just do stupid amounts of damage to his units. All right, I think that pretty much ends this turn. So now I'm just gonna head over to the situation report. Back with the turn 80 situation report. So things that have gone well. We took Assyria in the last 10 years, as we planned, and now we're engaged in war with Rome after we very aggressively put some units on my border. So let's just quickly go through here. We discovered Compo, Sovereignty, picked the ambition for Holy War, finished the Acropolis, started Spoked Wheel, found Spoked Wheel, swapped over to Freedom, got Doctrine, declared war on Fluffy after taking Assyria as well, and then finished the ambition of capturing the capital, and then captured these 2 additional cities here. So that's pretty good. Swapped to a Zealot ruler. We did some abdication, all sorts of fun stuff. We'll see how things go here. Not sure where that Syrian settler is going. Syria definitely hates our guts, but is also giving us a lot of money, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Future plans, we're going to continue to basically reclaim Egyptian lands, and then ideally boat over to Rome and take some more wonders. And then potentially think about boating over to Pella and ending the Greeks, and trying to close out this game militarily. I definitely worry about Frederik in the long game, so definitely want to see what I can do to close things out. We've got a very powerful force of around 11 cataphract archers. Frederik just got to 7 laws, and hopefully we should be able to supplement that with cataphracts as well, and potentially win less as well. We'll see. Win less or cohorts. We can see what we need to go after. For now, we're getting stirrups. We'll try to pick up Holy War as well. This boat will eventually come over this way, potentially if we need additional anchoring, depending on whether Rome tries to wall everything off or not, although we should be able to start route chaining our way in. Might be a little hard to attack in, but we're getting a lot of troops in range, which is pretty good. Ambitions, just Holy War right now. Succession is assured. We have a daughter, as well as some older siblings. But we're also only 22, so plenty of time there. Probably will try to inherit to a grandchild if the game isn't over by then. We will see, of course. Tech tree-wise, yeah, going straight for Barding right now, with Porcolis and Cartography on the way to further boost our tech rate. Not having Spy Master on turn 80 really kind of absurdly late. Nothing I can do about it, just didn't prioritize it. Doctrine was perhaps not the best idea, but getting all those sweet temples will help a lot with order economy, so we'll see how that goes. Laws and theologies, we are on 8 laws. Almost everything on the right, the first 2 columns, and then everything on the left, the next 2. We may want to swap to tolerance at some point, just to deal with our multi-religion. We end up taking, we now have the Christian founding site, and I think one of these cities, yeah, Zhao, if we capture Zhao, that means we'll have the founding site of all religions, all the world religions, which will kind of awesome, but also another point for tolerance potentially. So we'll see. We don't have a judge, so yeah. Wonder-wise, we are building the Colossus and gearing up here to start in 4 years the Circus Maximus. We should be good to do that. Definitely going to have the stone for it, and definitely going to potentially have the civics for it as well. Just need to keep an eye on that as well. So, looking pretty good there. And then we'll try to follow with Pantheon and Mausoleum, probably. Pantheon and Mausoleum. Pantheon probably more important first, although if no one else has legendary cities, we'll see. We don't have Vision of Frederik, which is, of course, a worry, but we are pretty close here, 4 years away. So yeah, and we've got Decree 3 here for another 9 orders. So it'll be 2 years additional, I think, for that one. We will see here. We may, depending on how the next term goes, swap one of these to be another decree. Especially since I'll have Decree 4 with 12 orders available soon. Cities by training. Everything's coming online. Ectaban is at 68. Just that double ore is amazing. 40, 38, 36, and then Hatra 30, 22. We're getting our second apprentice officer here. This one will be up and running to produce cataphract archers as well soon. this one will be soon. So feeling pretty good. Hatra will probably be the last one we got online. Not sure about this one. And I think I am prioritizing getting mining up here. I don't know that I really want to get... maybe I should have gotten ranges. I don't know. Hatra might be possible. Does it even have horses? It does have horses. So maybe we consider some ranges on Hatra. Probably better than starting a mine. So probably should do it on that last turn instead of moving all the way over here. Should be fine. Sources of Science, Persia at 66, then a bunch of cities at 20, or just Bana and Syrian, and then a bunch more. And then Family Opinion, everyone's pretty happy. Graph-wise, military score, you can see the very, very nasty spike we've had since turn 70. We have almost doubled our military score. And if we go back to turn 60, we've definitely doubled our military score. And turn 50, almost tripled our military score. So just very focused, very concentrated, getting that 8 strength unit in mass production. So we should be able to potentially do some damage here to Rome. We'll see what we can get. All right, everyone is weaker, or much weaker. Frederik is competent. Mojo is also competent. So Frederik is probably the biggest threat, but we're going to take out Rome right now, just because he positioned very aggressively on our borders a couple turns ago. We just pulled our units all the way south, and prefer that than trying to chew through Mojo. Rather have Mojo's troops fight in the north. And hey, if Mojo wants to pay me 100, Mojo AI wants to pay me 100 gold, I will gladly do that. Rulers, new. We're the subjugator. The noble. Rome is also the subjugator. And the new. So Greece has a new scholar with 4 wisdom. Arzella also has 4 wisdom. So she may become a governor at some point after she finishes her military duties. Right now, though, she is on the front and fighting. Family tree. You can see our mother, the queen, is still governor and will continue to be so, although she's pretty severely ill, so we'll see how long she continues to be governor there. And that's pretty much it for this situation report. Feeling pretty comfortable at this point in the game. We will see, of course, how things go. It's a little sad that Mojo ended up leaving, because I feel like looks like there's a Greek city. Mojo potentially could have been a big balancing ballast. In retrospect, I probably should have just attacked Rome without attacking Mojo, and then maybe turned on Mojo later or at my leisure or when everyone else was dead. I think I did not quite realize how weak he was, as evidenced by his empire sort of crumbling on him. So we will see. But I think this makes for a more interesting game, so we'll see how this goes. This doing so much damage to a dude in a fort is always fun. So no hills, unfortunately, for her to take advantage of. All right, that's pretty much it. Tech-wise, we just want to get portcullis and cartography on our way to barding. We'll always prioritize barding techs on the way there. We definitely have quite a bit with steel and battle line. But yeah, we will get portcullis and Roma at some point. Potentially should try to speed them up, because there'll be like a 30% tech research boost, as well as just get more specialists here. We'll see. I think conquering Roman cities, getting the last few wonders, should be a path to victory there. Take 3 more Roman cities, get these 3 here, which will be 7 years away, 10 years away, and 33 years away. So these 2 potentially was another victory point. All right, let's check in next turn.
Hello, Fluffy Bunny here. This is turn 80 StBlak recording for our FFA game. It is not going very well. So it's been an eventful last 10 years. Let's just have a look at the timeline, see what's been happening. So we discovered aristocracy, great. Persia completed the Acropolis. We finished capturing Egypt, completed an ambition for capturing Egypt. Was that really only that short a time ago? Amazing. Frederik's busy doing an offensive up here somewhere. Persia started the Colossus. We adopted colonies, started buying some tiles, and we discovered citizenship, adopted legal code, and discovered administration. So we've got a few techs. So interestingly, this is not showing us the wars that have happened or anything very interesting, to be honest. So what's happened in the intervening time? We finished capturing Egypt. Alcaras declared war on Assyria and took their capital in one turn, at which point Assyria promptly surrendered, despite being in the lead and having the most cities. He's taken a couple more of his cities. So yeah, Assyria's out and being controlled by an AI, so Alcaraz has now promptly truced that AI and attacked me. Which is really bad for me because he has cat archers and I only have statuses. So yeah, that's going to end very badly for me. We do at least have a decent amount of units here, plus a hero leader, so we can do an offensive. So we can do some fighting back. I don't suspect this is going to go very well. This long line of cataphract archers is almost certainly not all he's got. He's certainly stronger than me, and he's erudite. So yeah, that's not going to go well. But still, let's look at the record screen. Stat-wise, we're still incredibly rich. We've got all our resources, which is great. 34 specialists, 8 apprentice officers, a few other scattered ones. We've produced 39 units. We've lost 28. That war with Egypt was very expensive. We have killed 40. Still only on 4 laws. We have at least got 4 laws now. Yeah, recruited 5 courtiers, 159 improvements, mostly rurals. Yeah, which is feeding our enormous economy. And we got 3 wonders. That's not too bad. Resource production, yeah, it's going okay. Civics is starting to look reasonably healthy. Training's not too bad. Culture's alright. Happiness down the pits. Science is, yeah, climbing fast. We're still way behind everyone else, but we are starting to fix that. Money's fine. Orders is not too bad at all. Still probably nothing compared to Persia, of course. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Yeah. Now I've just realised, of course, if we lose this city, we're going to lose the coastal movement. That's probably all right. Is it probably all right? I don't know if it is actually. I might have to march. Oh well. Let's worry about that later. Yeah, mill score 2873. Got a reasonable amount of strength. Resource prices. Stone has crashed completely. Someone's been selling off stone massively to buy food and wood. Probably Alcaraz for his cat archers. Yeah, family opinion is not too bad. It's not great, but it's, yeah, hovering around the cautious level. What else can we look at? Our cities. Rome has got absolutely amazing training. Others are not too bad. I don't have anywhere that's good at civics really. We're set okay, but it's hardly amazing. And yeah, science is pretty dire still. Getting there. Tech tree wise, we're just one turning composite bow. We did that for ages before switching to border boost, and we just finished off our administration and citizenship as well. But yeah, long way away from where we need to be. And yeah, laws, we've got slavery, centralization, colonies, legal code, loads of heirs. We're doing all right for children. And yeah, we've got ambitions which we're probably going to fail. We do have 6 cities now. We've just got administration, so we could actually start building treasuries, but we probably don't want to because we're about to get invaded. And 8 generals, we've been 1 short for a long time. I doubt that's changed now. So actually, it might have gone up with this guy. We might possibly be able to do that if we weren't going to be in the middle of a horrible war. Maybe if we can get a couple of good launch offensives off, we can beat him back a bit. Maybe. I'm not terribly hopeful about that. But yeah, that's my turn 80. Not feeling great about this game at the moment, but we shall see what happens. See you in another 10 turns.
FFA StBlak from turn 80. and things have been turning a bit more crazy over the last 10 turns. I've been sitting back and observing for a lot of the time, not making a decision what to do, and eventually Persia moved on to become stronger, while Assyria had stayed on. At that point he was still similar in strength. So I made the choice to attack Babylon to take my piece from them and preserve Assyria's strength against Persia. And then alcaras basically moved in and took Assur in one turn, at which point Mojo tapped out of the game, which is a bit unfortunate. So I went back to truth with Nolex. I used a launch offensive here, only to then hand it back to him again. I took these two cities. This was in Assyrian hands at that point. Took this to get some better borders here along the seas. He has been paying me in resources. He has a considerable amount of resources and a bank from his previous leader that was, I think, up to like 18 or so discipline. So he has tons of money. Yeah, so we have a kind of big-ish AI player in the game now. He is slipped down to weaker, so a lot of the units have been, or quite a bit of the certain units have been killed off by now. I've been talking with the rest of the folks still in the FFA. There's a conflict breaking out between Rome and Persia. He alcaras truced out the AI, I think, like last turn or 2 turns ago. And there has been like there's some choke points somewhere down here. I don't know where exactly, where their borders meet. And they've been like buying tiles, building forts and such. So the thing is, since Rome is so weaker and primitive, he has some, I think some Hastati and other probably strength 5 units, like chariots and such, but that's really no match for Persia's cataphract archers, and the ranged cataphract archers will have an advantage in the choke point as well. Rome has a hero as leader, which can be pretty good. If he can get 1 or 2 launch offensives off with some spearmen, he might be able to kill some off. But the I think the count in cataphract archers in the initial assault, something like 6 or 8 years ago, was 8 cataphract archers around here. So he's probably up to like something like 10 or 11 right about now. alcaras leader switched to Salad. He lost his orator, so at least he doesn't have that many orders, but he's still Persia, so he still has a lot of orders. And this is also quite annoying. This also means he is very fast, so he can easily react and move his units around. I'm assuming lots of his cataphract archers moving down to fight down here. I'm trying to claim or capture some cities along here so I can get towards Persia and join the fighting. We are still a truce, still swapping luxuries. First for salt, I do have 1 salt gained from here, so the loss of the Persian salt will not be as problematic for me. Once I'm losing it, so yeah. Lex is still kind of in the game, although like a slothful leader and such, he's still struggling with his units. I did in the initial breakout, I killed like I think 3 archers at the spear that were like hiding in my territory. Still has couple of units, maybe like 8-9 units around here, fighting off Assyria. I'm having more units that I can use with my current orders. The drop in legitimacy from my leader change is hurting in orders, although monotheism that I finally enacted is helping. It spread Christianity quite a bit. We're getting some monasteries online as well. It's not everywhere, like it's not here in these new cities and down here, so I still have to spread a bit, still building some more disciples. I am weaker than alcaras still. I do have some hoplites around that will be upgrading in 2 turns once the citadel finishes, but it's nearly not the same amount of units that he has. Although these will, of course, to get their bonus versus house units, so they will be quite well suited to do those. Oh, that's a melee bonus, and he has ranged units, so mostly on the offensive. Still, the capital is coming up nicely. We are getting legendary culture in 3 turns. So I have 2 workers around. I will be moving this worker up, poised to start both the palace, a university, as well as the Circus Maximus. Resources are plenty, at least the tangible resources. It's the intangible resources that we are kind of lacking. This will be going into upgrading units heavily. I will also need some civics to assign councillors shortly. Once this finishes, assigning a spy master, he's severely ill, so he will probably die off. That means I will assign the wife to this position to get her to 100. Kind of lucked out with an influence event to get her terrified, as in more opinion of me, but that works out. Big of problem is the royal bloodline. It's kind of like a dried twig more than a family tree. Unlucky that we got a salad back in the day, so the opinion is not shaking out, but we're kind of fixing this right now. Yeah. If we can't, like we are already in our 30s, so push comes to shove, we're probably going to get an adoption event. I'm not looking forward to that though. We are getting up there in science though. Our capital has a lot, and once we're finishing up the university and palace, this is only going to accelerate. I have a scholar, which gives me some extra science from the archive I have in here, as well as redrawing, which will make it easier to beeline barding, which is my next goal. I'm kind of banking on reaching barding before alcaras and use cataphracts to fight him. It will still be quite a few turns until I'm actually till I can get through all these cities. The good part with this is, even if alcaras crushes Fluffy, like his armies, he still is kind of far away from his core cities. The valuable wonders are up here. He can't really get through the Assyrian territory since he's a truthless Assyria now, so he has to go through all the Egyptian territories. There's a pyramids down here for points, but it's not that valuable. He has most of his laws already enacted. Yeah, working towards building a sea corridor with borders and ships to get down here. Can't really redraw currently since we're not guaranteed to land on martial codes. I'm picking up portcullis, might also be Could also go for cartography for the ship upgrades, but I think the still having problems with opinions, so getting another counselor slot helps with that. Also might pick up cartography afterwards just for tech stealing, although that's that will cost civics too. So that's mostly for the geopolitical situation. Building some more ships. Not too happy with my unit output currently, but I already have more units that I can reasonably move around. So it's not the biggest of deals. Still, being on the weaker side is always a problem when fighting. Not too happy about this. The stats either no really high stat yet. So hopefully I can get the wisdom higher just to boost the science output here. The loss of the previous leader also meant that since she was a pathfinder, that both my food and my money dropped significantly. We can see this once we look at the stats. I can fix this with switching over to freedom from slavery, which I do want to do, but I'm kind of short on civics because the planned wander and the planned assignments, so I'm holding off of that for now. So let's look at the tree for now. Beelining this. Can probably skip out of forestry. Although ships and phalangites will cost wood, but one of the two captured cities are giving me a decent wood income now, at least some wood. I'm building some ranges now too to increase my training output. It will also cut into this, but for now that should be fine. And once it comes up, it's quickly picked up. That's basically a one-turn research right now, but also I do want to get this done, also because enact Holy War is my current ambition. Getting these done to get the cognomen to level up is also kind of important. So I'm half investing into specialists here, getting the citizens down, but probably switching over to officers once the ranges finish up. Even if I'm not building units in here, I need the training for upgrading first these phalangites, and once I hit barding, I need to upgrade the horsemen too, which are also 160 a pop. I'm already planning to upgrade at least like 5 hoplites, which is 800 training, which I barely have right now. And usually need some for force marches and such too. So anyway, need to invest in some more money too, even if I switch over to freedom. Getting some hamlets down in the already kind of high-ish output cities to push them up further, and then eventually build some markets in here once I get back to Finnish coinage or research coinage. It's quite valuable. So then quickly looking at the timeline, I think. Here, Acropolis finished. We got scholarship there. Alcaras started the Colossus. Not too unsurprising, given that Persia usually invests in iron as well. I would have liked the Colossus too, but oh well. And here we finished battle line. Founded our city down here. Here we declared war. 3 turns later, back to truce. It was basically 2-turn fight essentially. I backed up the turn earlier, and he sent a truce request over a turn later. Declared war on Assyria here to take the city. Can So we can go back. This is what it looked like. And Assyria captured this. I assaulted this and then handed it back again. Took over the bottom city and took over this immediately after Assyria captured it. Then there's we don't see when alcaras truced out the AI. We don't see this here, unfortunately. Adopted monotheism 2 turns back. That's kind of also pretty important. And then records, national wealth. We have a lot of resources banked. I don't have a judge currently, so I can't really invest in officers with just with money. Not that I'm having a bit of a bank, but since I'm still bleeding, I can't really spend too much of that anyway. Iron is kind of valuable, but I also need these. I need these resources for upgrades and the wonder. And stone is at the bottom anyway because Assyria sold a bunch. Population looking good. About two thirds are specialists, which is a pretty good ratio, I think. Pretty much or pretty big spread. I don't have as many officers as I'd really like, so that my unit output isn't that great, but Champion Seed of course makes up for a lot of it. The recent change to 50% training output, up from 25. A lot of the other urban specialists are in the capital, some coming online in the Artisan Seed 2 now. Some extra specialists, the woodcutters are from the captured cities. So some of those stone cutters too. So yeah. Units produced. Invested in a lot of cavalry, which is unsurprising since I got horsemen first, like stirrups first as attack. Also quite a few ships. I need to maintain my naval route here and be ready to defend it should alcaras pump out some ships too. So, yep, finally monotheism, technology is sitting at 28. I'm not ahead of science as in here against him. So, not sure if I can manage to pull ahead. A lot of his cataphract archers are from his clerics family, so there's a decent chance he's using his capital for training output too, which will cut into any specialist production or inquiry production. So his science might lag behind me quite a bit. He might just have rushed them out of the city since he has orthodoxy and he had an orator previously, so he might just rushed some out even without having invested in officers or infrastructure. I mean, I think I can see a barracks down there, but yeah, not too much info about this, but there's a decent chance he doesn't have the highest science output. I mean, he has a bunch of monasteries spread around, but it's not something that like the specialist center that ramps up now once you get the library line in place and specialists down. Like the output of the city like severely increases once you get your courthouse line and library line in place, since this gives you the civics to build the specialists, and this gives you the science, the percentage science increase on top of the specialist. You can see it's just a library that's already this. I mean, it's 6 comes from the specialist, but the other 14 is here, and you can see here there's also another 20 science coming up, which is a huge boost. And that's 30%, and the university has another 50%, so it's going to increase a lot. don't have judge or builder, unfortunately, to speed up the production or construction, but so we take what we can get. I don't really have much choices in this game. So back to the stats. No wonders. That's pretty bad, especially in terms of points, but also just for the bony. Looking to fix this. Wouldn't mind picking up the mausoleum as well. The extra culture will speed up our points, as well as if I can build this in my champion seat or the artisan seats, where I'm still building troops, getting guard is pretty good. Free promotions are always nice, and I think guard doesn't work on horse units, so this might be more worthwhile on the artisan seat, since it does work on ships. So yeah, but that's for the future. Family opinions, we are barely holding together here. Opinions drop down when the leader change happens, but I'm keeping them together with the Christianity. Christianity opinion is mostly fueled by me spreading stuff manually, but this is dropping every year again, so yeah. The ambassador is pretty low discipline, and we had war with Assyria. This also takes a hit, and the low legitimacy from not having a cognomen also cuts into that. Then victory points, yeah, not much to see here. Resource prices, Assyria selling stone, craters this, food is slowly creeping up again. Probably everyone struggling more and more with food as the armies grow. And with me losing our my Pathfinder leader, nothing really changing here. Territory owned, captured a few cities, mill score going up. Be interesting to see the difference to Persia, how much this stronger actually is in terms of point differential or difference. So wood, we're finally getting some wood from our captured cities. Stone slowly going down since we're building more urban buildings. Iron kind of going down. Also, I'm still running centralization, so moving my army outside of my territory impacts the resource cost upkeep as well. So yeah, orders going up from down from losing the new leader, up from monotheism a bit, so kind of holding itself right now. Hopefully I can get this up some more. It's not really a especially high order count. Money cratering heavily from the leader dying. Science on the upward, and that's expected to continue quite a bit. Happiness cratering. Yeah, culture, training, not much to see here really. This is the leader dying also. Yeah, just regular stuff. Yeah, that's it. Getting some more infrastructure down, slowly moving down here. I'm probably retreating some of these troops, or retreating, like moving them down here as well for our sword here, leaving the recapturing of Babylon mostly to Nolex. So yeah. Since Assyria is now kind of somewhat out of the game, it's alcaras who's now the point leader and prime target, but there's Babylon is pretty much still out of it. And Rome is not providing much resistance either, so it's pretty much Persia versus Greece for the most part. But we're still far away. He's trying to finish off Rome before I can get to him. So hopefully he can at least kill off a few of these cataphractic archers with his hero leader. Any kills of those are valuable. Also the further expansion down here. So my capital is all the way up in the corner. This will be adding a lot of maintenance just from the distance. Even here you can see it still down. Even the city already like draining almost 80 in maintenance. These cities do have some money in carbon at least, so that's they break even pretty much, but down here it's not really. Yeah, there's some resources, but yeah. So, but I'll leave it at that. Enough talking. Been going on for long enough. See you maybe in another 10 turns.